So last week on this same video that we do on Mondays, I said that Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman would be meeting with the media on a Monday afternoon for the last time of the season. Well, he surprised us all. We got an email late last week saying that Freeman would meet with the media kind of to wrap up the season. And in my 4.5 years on the beat, Jack, this is the first time that Notre Dame's head coach has met with the media on the Monday after the season has ended. So first, I thought that was interesting. Freeman taking questions from the media. So we're going to dive into what Freeman said. I mean, this presser just wrapped up a few minutes ago as we're recording this, so it's all fresh in our minds. Jack Sobel's asking questions in the press conference. So yeah, we're going to dive into pretty much everything that was talked about, some really interesting stuff. Before we do that, hit the thumbs up on this video if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our channel for more content, and of course, go to blueandgold.com for much more coverage of this news. I guess let's just go right to the biggest item. Was Freeman was asked about any changes on the coaching staff. The staff met late this morning, and Freeman said that he would love to have all of them back, Jack.
Yeah, Mike, Freeman basically said, he came right out and said it, that if there are any changes on the coaching staff, it won't be on his end. He's happy with the job they did. He knows a lot of things that can be improved, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, but he expressed confidence in offensive coordinator Gerad Parker and his ability to fix some of these issues. He did point to a specific example, like he struggled in his first year as defensive coordinator at Cincinnati, and he said, "Thank God Luke Fickell gave him that chance." Yep, exactly that from the Athletics' Pete Sampson, and Fickell stuck with Freeman, and the rest is history. And I think Freeman was thinking of that when he made the decision. He all but outright said it that Gerad Parker will be coming back.
Yeah, so no changes from Notre Dame's end, but do some of these coaches get opportunities elsewhere and whatnot? I've always been of the belief that if one of the coordinators was going to go, it would be Al Golden, because he might get an opportunity elsewhere than Gerad Parker. So we'll keep an eye on that. In terms of like opting out and whatnot for the bowl game, Freeman said that they were going to be meeting as a team this afternoon about the bowl games. Not only the immediate future of that, whoever Notre Dame plays, in a few weeks, but also, do you plan on coming back, for an extra year? Do you want to transfer? Do you want to declare? So those conversations will be happening, as soon as today with some of Notre Dame's players. There was a report, I think last night or early this morning or something, out of Arkansas on UNLV offensive coordinator Brennan Marion. I thought it was interesting that Freeman was asked about that, and his answer was awesome.
Yeah, Freeman said, "I do not know who that is," which Brendan Marion is a to credit him, he's a very good young coach. He did a great job with the UNLV offense this year. But seeing as Notre Dame does not have an offensive coordinator opening, they're not talking to other assistants to fill that non-existent opening. So that report was nonsense. They're not talking to UNLV's offensive coordinator. He doesn't know who that is.
Yeah, and Freeman wasn't saying it to like be disrespectful or anything.
Oh yeah,
he was like,
that absolutely.
Yeah, the reporter asked the question. He was like, "I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. Like, what are you talking about?" That was pretty awesome. Freeman was also talked about asked about the transfer portal policy. That's always a hot topic, especially in the offseason. When it comes to time for Notre Dame to take, I would guess around 5 to 7-ish guys. Maybe 7 would probably be a good bit, but say around 5. And people are always wanting to know, hey, is Notre Dame going to kind of loosen up their admissions process and whatnot? This is what Freeman had to say. I wrote this out as he was saying it, so it might not be a perfect quote, but he said, "There's been positive discussions with our administration in terms of making sure that we have a timely manner of getting a response to get students admitted to Notre Dame." So I think the biggest kind of point there was that they want urgency with getting an answer from admissions. So that's kind of the update there. And then in terms of a portal quarterback search, Kyle Kelly asked a question there in terms of, hey, comparing what you did last year in the portal to this year at the quarterback position, what are you going to, or how does that criteria change, or does it at all? And Freeman answered, it was a good answer, but he started with just 2 words, Jack.
Yeah, he started with not much. Which tells me that if there is, a Sam Hartman level or going back to last year, Bo Nix or Michael Penix level, if Notre Dame could be so lucky, Freeman kind of implied that Notre Dame would go after that guy, given that not much has changed from last year to this year with the quarterbacks in the portal. The priority number one though is getting a fourth scholarship quarterback. Freeman said that his fear is like what happened last year, that at the end of spring, if he names a starter, if he only has three, one of those three will transfer. Then you're only left with two, and Freeman doesn't want to be left with two. So he's comfortable going into fall camp with three quarterbacks, not comfortable going into spring camp with three quarterbacks, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So when he said the whole we want to be at 4 quarterbacks on scholarship, he kind of left it at that, to which I've been on our Monday's video, Jack, and on my Wednesday night show with Tim, I've been like, I'm calling BS on that. I think it's more about just improving the quarterback room. But I think this was like a really good clarification from Freeman, and I think it's very fair. He said, quote, having 4 protects you if someone decides to leave from now until spring, which then I guess Notre Dame could go into the portal and get another quarterback. But it
becomes a lot more.
Then it's kind of late at that point to try to bring someone in. So it makes sense for now, but also, does that mean you're going to bring in a quarterback on the portals every single year? I mean, that situation's not really going to go away. So very fascinated to see how that looks moving forward. Regarding quarterback Sam Hartman, he expects Hartman to play in the bowl game.
Yeah, Freeman said that Hartman's thought process when Hartman said, two more left after, I think it was a Wake Forest game, that his thought process at that point was he's playing in the bowl game. They'll have a meeting to determine if that's still the case. But as far as Freeman believes, Hartman will play in the bowl game.
Yeah, and then regarding going after transfer portal quarterback, and really all positions in general, Freeman said that they can't wait until the player enters the portal to be like, oh, well, we are going to go after him. Now, there could always be a surprise, but essentially what he was saying was we have to get ahead of like, hey, who could be entering the portal? Keep an eye on different guys who have, especially graduate guys who could potentially play another year. Like, who do we keep an eye on there? And then Notre Dame hired a guy, Matt Jansen, from West Virginia, at some point in the offseason. And my understanding is that a big part of his job is the transfer portal. So I'm sure Jansen in particular is keeping an eye on, different transfer portal options. Yeah, I mean, Freeman said he's already evaluated lots of players and positions, that every second matters. So urgency is big for the transfer portal. You can't be, it's in high school recruiting. You can offer a guy late and still get him, but transfer portal recruiting is just so sped up. Heck, I mean, Hartman to Notre Dame was like a done deal before he even entered the portal. So you really do have to get on these things early. Well, that's going to wrap up this video. I think that's just about everything that Freeman talked about that I at least thought was somewhat notable. Please hit the thumbs up on this video, folks. Subscribe to the channel for more content. And, of course, go to blueandgold.com for much more from Freeman's press conference. Appreciate you all for watching. And as always, we will catch you next time.